Hey, today we are going to compare the new 4MAX Elite, though it's not on the box, with the various 4MAXs that have come out before it. So we're going to start. I'm just going to go 1 to 1. I'm not going to bring them all out, and I may not bring them out at the end, like a final dance number, something like that. But no, I'm just going to go 1 to 1 and compare it to this one, compare it to that one, and go forth like that. So this is first gen, second gen, third gen, Italian, and the Scout. And we'll go from there, comparing it, and just kind of looking it over. I'm going to go a little bit quick, not too, I'm not going to get super in depth, like we're definitely not going to take it apart. So, let's get into this.
Please hold, please hold, please hold, please hold, please hold.
It's my pleasure to present Jimislash.
Okay, so let's get into this 4MAX Elite box here. And check this out. We already checked that out yesterday. Let's check it out again. Ooh, so pretty. Make sure there's no pretzel residue on my fingers. I'm gonna get some pretzel chips. All right, get this out of the way. Get these out of the way. Not totally off camera, but out of the way. Oh, that's not the first generation. I almost fell out of it. This is the first generation. All right, here's the first generation 4MAX. And this is the perfect 4MAX. Oh man, this is emotional. Every time I open this thing is awesome. Just the G10 is smoothed out perfectly. Out of the corners, everything is just perfect on this. No sharp edges on this. You can feel the difference in the G10 being smoothed out. Now, you know, that's even a little bit rounder here over here. This isn't sharp at all, but this is even less sharp. So they've rounded out that corner really nicely on that. So they finished that nicely. They did that nicely, but now this is not rounded out. So this is a little bit sharper there. All right, so let's just go like step by step, you know, and look at this. So we got very similar size. Now don't trust your eyes and just think that, you know, you can switch scales out, because you can't. Now here's one noticeable difference. You can see the size difference in the thumb studs. Let's see how that works. You can tell a little bit of difference in those thumb studs. Not a whole lot, but it's definitely there. Let's do that drop shut thing. Both drop shut. Very nice. You know, nice sized blades, thick, both titanium scales. Have a look-see there. You know, the clips are going to be about the same. Got the bigger pivot hole over here, but I don't think the pivot actually going through is any larger from the scales that we took apart the other day. So I think that the scales, but now look at the size of that pin there, that lock bar pin, but it doesn't look any bigger there. So it just might be what's showing is bigger. Yeah, I think that's it right there. I think it's just they've pinned this one all the way through, and this one may have a little, what do you call that? Like a little drilled out hole for that pin. All right, let's look at the rest of it. Does it seem like this one's taller? No. It's all optional illusions here. Now, you do have this extra jimping here on the first gen 4MAX. They both come with that recessed lock bar, the little dog leg on there. It's a little more pronounced here on that. I mean, it's not a big difference. It just kind of gives it a nice breakup of the shape there. I'm telling you, this is the perfect 4MAX. That thing is so awesome. The first gen 4MAX from Cold Steel was just awesome. All right, let's check out those blades. Got a different kind of stonewash effect on this one. A little more pronounced than it is on this one. On the first gen there. We go over here. Of course, you got 20 CV over there. S35 again. That's a steel thing. But I'm talking about shape. The grind on it looks very similar. Now, let's look at that. It looks like maybe the choil is a little bit deeper over here. So it looks like that choil comes up a little bit further on the knife than over here. Just a little bit, maybe. What do you think? Check that out. I might be wrong, but yeah, I think I am wrong. No? Yeah, see, look at that. You can tell the difference in where those the choil ends. So the choil comes up a little bit further here. Gives you a little bit more room on there. Just a tiny bit. Just a little bit of difference there. All right, so all things considered, it's very close to this one. But the feel is a little bit different. This one is just perfectly smooth, perfectly done in. Now look, see, this is a little sharper here. This is a little less sharp here. This is still holding up pretty good against this one. If they come out at the same time, it would be tough to find. Now look at that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Look at this blade here. See how that part of it, the grind stops here, and this grind goes back further? So there's a little bit of difference there. Got a little bit on the grind there. I don't know what kind of difference that would make. Might make this one a little bit lighter, since you have a little bit more of that blade shaved off. But they're both excellent knives. Both feel good. You see, let's weigh them real quick just to check it out. I got the scale here. Might as well look at it. That's what we're doing, right? All right. So that one's coming in 10.09, and this one's coming in 10.02. It's actually lighter. Huh. That's weird. Wonder why it's lighter. I don't know. I have no idea why this one would be lighter. Y'all let me know. What do you think? Why is one lighter? Well, look at the grind. Look at the grind through here. This is a lot thinner through here. So you're losing it here, but it stays thin all the way down here. And this one stays thick all the way through there. Can you see the difference there? So this one's got a thinner grind on that swedge than this one does. So, I mean, it's just a little bit of difference. That might be what makes the difference on that one. All right, so I'm telling you, you can't beat this one. So it's not even a contest. I like the new one, but first gen 4 Max is the winner if you're gonna have to have just one. Okay, let's go to second gen. Now second gen, if y'all remember, the lock bars came messed up on some of them. So this one is actually kind of like a Andrew Dimko mid-tech. This was sent back to Andrew Dimko himself to fix my lock bar. So he's actually fixed a couple of mine. I got the pink one, and I have this one. So let's move this out of the way. Start going through this side by side kind of thing. Once again, now see, you're getting a little less smooth here, so it's feeling a little bit closer to this on that. Still, this is a little bit rougher, but it's a little bit closer on the feel of the scales on the second gen. This is a lot sharper through here, and this is a lot sharper on than the original two, if you remember that. All right, let's check out that swedge again, since we already know. Yeah, see, this is thicker all the way through here. Stays thick. This goes thin really quick there. I don't think that makes a difference. It doesn't really make a huge difference. I'm just talking about weight stuff here and in minutia. Looks like they did a little bit more of a decorative swoopy grind there than just a straight down, so looks a little bit cooler there, I think. Let's see what else we got going here. Let's open this thing up. That's a little bit stiff, huh? All right. Check it out the back there. Once again, got the jimping on that second gen 4 Max. This one doesn't have all that intricate jimping like that one does. All right. All the way back. This one, of course, does not have the dog leg on it. Check that out. Now, this is really interesting. This is what I wanted to look at inside here. And it's going to be difficult. See, what I'm looking at here is that spring. Now, look at the side. You guys can you see that? Where's my flashlight? Let's see if I can find a flashlight. Okay, look in here. Now, look at the size of the spring. Can you see the difference? This one has got a little skinny spring. I just now noticed this. So this spring is like full size from side to side. See, so you check that out? And that one's got a little skinny black spring. Check that out. See how it's about like 2/3 maybe of the width of that space in there, and this one's got that full spring. That seems kind of cheap to me. That seems really, really not cool. Not cheap, but just I don't think that spring's gonna break. But look, that's definitely not the same size spring. They kind of chinched on the spring there, don't you think? Can you see that? All right. I have to talk to some cold steel people about that. What's up with the spring? It's like you couldn't afford the spring for what you're paying for this thing. All right, so the spring, definitely a problem. I mean, it's not a problem. It's not gonna. I just don't know. It just kind of seems kind of cheap to me. Why not put that full-size spring in there? It's not a big deal. It's just one of those deals. Not a huge deal. All right, so you still got that full-size pin coming through there, but it's the same size pin on. Shake that one down. It's going to be the same size pin if you look at it from here to here. Let's look at that with the flashlight again. No, that's too bright. So, if you look at the pins, they're the same size. You get a light where it's not blinding. There we go. But just, they milled it out differently on that other pin. Okay, so, clip's about the same. Let's check the weight real quick and move on. Now that we found the pin thing, it is disturbing. It's finding, wow, 10.023. Is that right? So that's heavier than the other one. All right. Check this out. 10.02. Okay. So this one's heavier than both of them. If you got to pick one, man, I don't know if that spring makes a difference. Let me know down in the comments. Is that spring a huge difference maker? Maybe I'll switch out the springs. You know, taking apart went so well last time. Okay, so let's get into Gen 3 Formax. They fixed the lock bar issue by the Gen 3. Let's check this out. Okay, you're still looking at the same kind of swedge down here, starting here. Still looking at that thickness and going further. Man, it looks like that blade is just a tad bit longer. Just a little bit, maybe a tiny bit. All right. Same thing with the thumb studs. Different kind of pyramiding thumb studs. You got a little thicker base here than you do on these. Not a huge deal there. Check that out. A little bit closer on that stonewash finish. About the same as far as darkness and quality and all that. Check that out. That blade looks a little bit thinner too. I don't know. Let's even that out. No, it's not. Now the one thing I do like about this is the edge they put on this. The edge on this is a little bit thin as far as the angle, so it's a little bit like, it's not as, I don't know how to say it, the edge isn't as wide. So this is a very slicey angle on this edge here. They did a really good job making this thing sharp and useful. I wasn't a big fan of the American Formaxes and the edge they put on them. Now I think I fixed this edge up a little bit. Maybe this is the one, yeah. So I even made this edge a little bit deeper, but still not as deep as that one. All right, so still missing that jimping there. Of course, you're missing the dog leg there. Let's check that out. Looks very similar. And still having that spring issue that we had on the other one. This has got the thick spring, and this has got that weak. Looks like it belongs on a Tough Light spring. Come on, Cold Steel. You're charging the money. Let's do it. Oh wait, do we weigh them? I don't think we weighed this one. All right, let's weigh them real quick. Remember, this is 10.02. I'm trying to get through this as fast as possible here. All right. 10.16. So this is heavier. This is like in between the other two, and then this one is, of course, still 10.02. All right. That's all the American Formaxes. Now let's break out the Italian Formax. One thing I don't like about this is the box. I know it's not a huge issue, but you know, Kershaw, or not Kershaw, but Kaiser and Wee and them, they can come out with some really nice pouches and stuff. And I just think that's kind of a cheap box for such a grail type knife. They don't even have any foam or anything cool like that in there. Once again, that's a little bitty deal. But look at that. That's kind of a cool presentation box on that. And it's, you know, you're paying the same exact, about the same price on those. So let's turn this off. All right, let's break out the Italian Formax here. Now remember, the one issue I had with the Italian Formax was the innards. They had the little insert pin that they kind of put in after as an afterthought, I think. So look, still dealing with that original swedge, thick through here. Different pins still, or different thumb studs. This one's got the good jimping. You know, in a hand, this is really up there with that first gen Formax. This is up there with the smoothness, the finish on this thing. You know, it's got the dog leg on there. Check that out. So yeah, now this is still a little smoother through here, smoothed out. This one's sharp. I don't know why they did that. This is a really good finish on this. They did a really nice job on the outside of this. The inside is kind of messed up because it seems like they did that little bar in as an afterthought, but I've been assured that it doesn't hurt anything at all. So that's not a big, huge deal after we got that all worked out. So this is smoother, definitely. It's got a bigger pivot pin. Check that out. And I kind of like the bigger pivot. The bigger pivot there as what do you call it? As a beauty thing or whatever, an ornate thing. Check that out. Now the stonewash on this seems a little more pronounced than that one. And I like the grind on this one. But even, okay, and so the grind on this one was really nice. I liked it a lot more than the American Formaxes. But the one on this one is just even better. This is a nice slicey grind on this. Or slicey edge on that grind there. So check that out. This does look thicker though. Doesn't that blade look a little bit wider? I wonder. I don't know how to check that. I don't know where my calipers are. We can just stick it here. Let me stick it over here. This blade is coming in about what is that? Just over 1.5 inches thick. And this one is coming in. You know what? Am I right? So that's right there. And that's right there on 1.5. Now let's get right here. I don't know. It's a tiny bit. It's like a 1/16 of an inch wider, I think. That's what it's looking like to me. Just a 1/16 of an inch wider. Does that make sense? It seems just a little bit wider. I don't know. Can you see down here? You can't really see, and I can't really make you see. So, right there in front of me, there's that. That comes in right there, just past the 1.5 mark. And then this one right there, just a tiny bit wider, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to find my calipers and break it out. I don't know where those are. Okay, so overall, both really well done. Let's see, the Italian. Looks like the Italian got a little bit thinner on that spring. It doesn't look as wide as the other spring. It's still wider than that black spring, though. Yeah, let's check that out. This is a long video. I apologize. We're almost done. We're going to look at the Scout and we'll be finished. All right, so look at this. Oh, there we go. So the Italian one looks a little bit thinner than the American springs, and then that one is still that skinny one. I don't know. What do you think? I think we're finding stuff here. All right. Might have to send away for some real mad springs. Now, overall, I don't know. I think I like the finish on this one a little bit better. Of course, I love the scales on this one, the green and black. But I really like this one. The finish is really nice. It's right up there with that first gen Formax. So here we go. Put that one away. Again. All right, put that in there. All right, now let's compare it to the Scout. Let's check out the Scout, since this one just came out. All right, now this is kind of where you're starting to see where they might have been like, okay, let's keep the same grinds, because look at that. That looks identical in the grinds there, right? So they used the Scout grind for the Formax. Pretty much identical there. They didn't add any of the extra milling for this. So there's no micro jimping there. I mean, this look almost identical here. Right through here. Now you're going from titanium to G10 on that scale, on the backspacer. You have the same exact thumb studs. Same exact grind. I mean, look at that. It's just identical. These are practically identical blades. Now, you know, this going to be a different feel on this, of course. You got the extra grippy Grivix over here. But as far as just, you know, if you took the Scout off of that, you get the feeling that maybe this blade could be switched out. Because it's, I mean, this is all just all the same depth on this cuts here. So, I mean, they're both made in Taiwan, so that makes sense. And they'd make, you know, they just stick the steel blade or the S35VN onto the AUS 10. I guess that's how they would do it, right? On the AUS 10 mil or whatever you call it. Now let's check out the scale. Yeah, they used the same spring in there. All right, so there you go. So you got the same little tiny, not tiny spring, but you still got the same little half spring that you do on the Scout. Check that out. All right. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's interesting that they both have that same spring in there. And I like this AUS 10 on there. I like it a lot. And I like the S35VN. I haven't beat it up. And we beat the mess out of this. So it's not like the spring's going to break. Remember, we beat the holy living mess out of this on 2 different videos. So it's not going to break on you. Man. I don't know. This is a $100 knife. And this is a lot more than a $100 knife. You like to see that big quality spring in there. Not for any other reason other than, hey, we appreciate you spending more than $100 on this knife. Let me know what you think down there. I might be just running my mouth here. Of course, this has the stainless liners, right? The stainless steel liners. Great knife. This knife is so awesome. You can't buy a better knife for $100. You just can't. You cannot buy a beast knife like that. All right, let's see what this one weighs. Now, this has got the Afro on there, so I don't know. We'll just take a little bit off of that. What do you think for the? I wish I had a Fro to weigh here. Let's just lift a little bit here. I don't know what to call that, but oh, that's the other Formax had the Afro on there too. I forgot. Okay, so there you go. You want to break them all out again? Check them all out. We'll just do them in chronological order here. So you got the Italian Formax, you got the new Formax, the Formax Elite, you got the Formax Scout. Let's see there how that works there. And then you got the 3rd gen American Formax right there. Let's bring this down just a little bit. And then you have, which one is this? All right, 2nd gen Formax. And then you have, of course, the best, which is weird. A lot of times things don't start good and then not stay great. But in this situation, they started great. And they stayed great, but they just didn't stay as great. I think this is the best one right there. So you got the first gen, second gen, third gen Italian, Formax Scout, and the Formax, the new Formax Elite. Let me know what you think. Which one's your favorite? If I had to choose one, this one. If I had to choose one besides that one, besides the Demco factor on this thing, ooh. If you take away the Demco mid-tech thing on this, oh, I think I'm still going to go with, I think I'm going to go Italian. And then I'm going to go this one. And then I'm going to go this one. Then I'm going to go this one. And then this one. I don't know why I would go this one last. I mean, these are so similar. Especially since we beat up that OS 10 and we know what it does. It's, you know, it's a great steal. All right, let me know what you think down there. Appreciate y'all watching this. This may be done with the Formaxes for a while. I don't know. I can't think of anything else to do except for beat the mess out of this one or carve into some meaty product somewhere. We'll see if we can do that. I'll talk to y'all later. Oh, I forgot to tell you, if you're interested in getting this or any of the new Formax or the new Cold Steel stuff, check out the information down there. We're gonna run through. Check that out. Lone Star. Let me make sure I get this right. Lone Star Sports Optics. Now they're just kind of getting into the knife game, but the guy his name is Blake Allen. Totally trustworthy. Totally just smoked this thing to me. This thing was at my house in 2 days from the moment I ordered it. I don't know if you can get him to you that fast, but he'll be getting to you and trustworthy. And, you know, it's always good to help out the new folks. And he's from Texas. So if you're from Texas, especially up there in the North Texas area, check him out. All right, let's make sure I got that in because he's willing to do some good stuff. All right, now I'll talk to you later.